And welcome back to another daily devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Thursday, February 29th of 2024. We are on our bonus day for 2024. Happy leap year to you all. We are in the Gospel of Mark. We made it to chapter 10 a while back, and we're going to be this today and tomorrow. We're going to wrap up chapter 10. Monday, we'll have the triumphant entry. We will be starting chapter 11, and I say that just so you know that we're getting very close to Jerusalem. Things are getting serious, as they say. So we're going to look at verses 35 to 45 today in the 10th chapter of Mark's Gospel. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came forward to him and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "What do you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory." But Jesus said to them, "You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" And they said to him, "We are able." And Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." And when the 10 heard it, they began to be indignant at James and John, and Jesus called them to him and said to them, "You know that those who are supposed to rule over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. But it should not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man also came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Okay, one thing I'll point out is I like to point out when I see evidence of the substitutional sacrifice, that very last part, to give his life as a ransom for many. Obviously, that's reference to the death on the cross, okay? Don't forget that, which is coming up because we're getting close to Jerusalem. I love the beginning of this. When James and John come to Jesus, they say, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." Kind of sounds like something your kids have said to you, right? "Mom, Dad, will you do this for me? Promise you'll do this for me. Promise you'll buy me this," or whatever. I'm pretty sure I did that to my mother and father as well. Seems to be something kids do. And so they're seeming a little childish here. And sometimes we think of the disciples rather as being a bit childish. They certainly come across in Mark as being unable to understand what's going on. And this is another example of them not understanding what's going on exactly. They still think that kingdom is coming, that Jesus is going to implement this holy reign, and he's going to be seated on the throne as the king of the world. That is the promised Messiah. And they want to be his two counselors, one on either side. They want these positions of bureaucracy, if you will. I talked about that a while back, about the pastor that gave a preach on. He wanted to be part of the bureaucracy. And it's like, that ain't the way it works, guys. Sorry. Sad to break it to you. It ain't the way it works. Not the way it's going to work. At any rate, so they're wanting Jesus to give us your word. You're going to do whatever we want. Don't worry about what we're going to ask for, but just say you'll do it. And Jesus, of course, does this thing where he changes the subject because they're talking about this kingdom. We'll be on the right side and the left side in the coming kingdom, where you conquer the Romans and you kick them out of here, and then we rule the place. We want to be up there as your counselors, your number one and two guys, so to say. And Jesus says, no, he's talking about the crosses on either side of him. We have that Golgotha, the place of the skull. We have those 3 crosses. Easter time, we see all these imageries of the cross in the middle. It's usually the bigger cross. And then you have the 2 smaller crosses, generally, not always, indicating that those are the thieves on the right and the left. And Jesus says, "Oh, the place on the right and the left are for me in my glory." When it says that, grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory. Jesus' death on the cross is his glory. It's his sacrifice. It is the truly giving his life as a ransom for many. Down here, he's fulfilling the coming to serve, this fulfillment of this last part that we talk about here. And of course, we've got the thieves are already allocated for those 2 spots. And if Jesus were to explain to them what exactly he was talking about, they might have said, "Well, yeah, okay, you're right. We're good with that. That sounds like a great idea. Let's go ahead and let those guys take the spot on the right and left." I don't know if they would or not. They do, with the exception of John, we believe. John was the only one we think that dies of old age. That's church tradition. The rest of the disciples have been martyred. They've all drank from the cup and been baptized with the baptism that Jesus is talking about, his death and the resurrection is what he's talking about. So they haven't been physically resurrected yet. That's to come. Jesus will come again. When he does, the disciples will be resurrected too, along with the rest of us. So it's just another example of Jesus having to show to them that they don't understand. Again, another example of Jesus flipping the script. He knows what they're talking about, but he's talking about the bigger picture. So he's, again, flipped the script. But then he's come down to his back part, can't talk. This last part, talking about that the world leaders lord it over people, but that's not the way it's supposed to be for you. You're supposed to be a servant. He's a suffering servant. Jesus is, and this is part of in the Gospel of John, where he does the feet washing at the Last Supper. We're coming up on the Last Supper before 2 more days. But the idea is that he is the suffering servant. He is here not only for us to serve him, but also for him to serve us. He is to take care of us. But likewise, we are supposed to take care of each other. And we're supposed to serve God. And meanwhile, that's how we serve God. How do you show God you love him? You love his people, his creation. That's what I've always said. And again, it's just this another example of him flipping the script, reversing the roles. We think of if you want to be great, you have to be humble, and you have to be a servant to all. That's the point he's making at the end there. Tomorrow we have the healing of the blind Bartimaeus. It's a story that I love, so we'll jump into that one tomorrow. And then, of course, Monday we have the triumphant entry. It all starts to get heated up come Monday, as they say. With that, I'm going to let you go. Have a very blessed day. Please, please be a blessing to someone today. Please, if you enjoy these, like and subscribe. Come back again. Feel free to share the videos. If you want to make a kind comment, that is great. We'd love to hear from you. Okay? Take care. God bless. God loves you. Bye-bye.